Hello guys, welcome back to the second part of the second episode where we launch our vehicle that we just made in orbit. And I've actually already noticed a mistake on my own part, which is not surprising. Again, I am a veteran player who has done many missions, but I'm prone to simple mistakes as well. These engines that we put for our first stage are actually don't have any thrust vectoring, which means they have no way of actually controlling the direction of the vehicle. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace these outer winglets, not the inner ones, because the inner ones are attached to a thrust vectoring engine. The outer ones are going to be replaced with AVR8 winglets instead of AVT1 winglets. So we're going to place those on the outside, of course enabling 4 times symmetry. You just place them there, and that'll provide some control to the first stage, so that we can actually control the direction of the vehicle. Not a big deal, don't worry, you haven't completely screwed it up. You just got to attach those different winglets, and we're ready to go. So let's launch this bitch. Alright, so we're on the launch pad here. Let's orient myself the right way. So first thing you're going to do is crank the throttle up all the way. Remember, none of the stages are activated yet, so touching the throttle won't affect anything until you activate it. Press circle to enable SAS and press X to activate the first stage. And we're off and away. So we're just going to let the vehicle ascend like this for a little bit, and it's as simple as that. Once we hit a certain altitude, which is 10 kilometers up, as you can see there's an altimeter up here. Once this hits 10,000 meters, that means meters. Once it hits 10,000, we're going to start turning to the left. We're going to angle our ship 45 degrees along a 90-degree angle on the nav ball. So as you can see down here, here's 90, we're going to tilt it towards here, towards the 90 basically. And we're just going to place our ship's position right over the 90. So I'm going to take control of my vehicle again, and I'm going to make some minor position adjustments because it's getting off course. As you can see, that air resistance really drags on the vehicle, and you have to be careful of that because it can actually rip the vehicle apart. So once you hit around 10 kilometers, start turning very slowly. Don't rush it because you'll tear the ship apart. Turn really nice and slowly. Make sure you're keeping the prograde vector over your ship, because if you don't, it'll actually really screw everything up. You gotta wait till you get through the thicker part of the atmosphere before you start turning violently. And if you're having trouble with this part, I'm gonna suggest another method, and that's just start turning a little bit right away as soon as you get off the launch pad. Like, I don't know, give or take 3 kilometers up. Right, so we're starting to run out of fuel for our first stage here, right? We're just going to point our vehicle on prograde vector so that our vehicle doesn't completely tip, like completely lose control when these engines die. And then we're going to separate that first stage by pressing X. And it's as simple as that, they're gone. Now we're on to our second stage. So we're 54 kilometers up now. I'm going to check the orbit map because I have a feeling we're pretty far up in our actual orbit. Yeah, so we're 136 kilometers up. Not bad, not bad. 100 kilometers would have been better, but this works too. So now that we're in our orbit map here, you're going to stay there. And you're going to watch this line here. This is your apoapsis, the highest point in your orbit. So as it currently stands, I'm going to go up to my apoapsis, my highest altitude, then fall back down to Kerbin and crash. However, I'm going to prevent that right now by actually circularizing the orbit. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight our apoapsis on our orbit. As you can see, we can actually highlight the orbit. We can do things to the orbit. So at our apoapsis, we're going to click on it with X, press add a maneuver, and we are going to drag the prograde vector on the maneuver. Oh, shoot. Change the focus. It's annoying that the button to zoom and the button to change the focus is like the same thing basically. So you're going to see this prograde marker. This is the prograde marker. Just drag it, right? And you'll see that it'll be like a circularized orbit. The periapsis, that's apoapsis, right? Periapsis is the lowest point in your orbit, right? The periapsis has to be at least above 75 kilometers to complete a full orbit. So now we're going to take control of the ship again because our maneuver node is set up, right? See the maneuver node marker, the blue marker. This, I'm going to tilt my ship position marker to the blue marker. Now my ship position marker in brown here is over top of my maneuver node marker, the center point of my ship. Node is in 1 minute, so we're going to wait patiently for 1 minute, and then once we get 30 seconds away from down here, node in T minus, once we get around 30 or 20 seconds away from here, we're going to activate our second stage and start burning. Unfortunately, we have to go out of the map view to activate our second stage, so we're going to do that now. What we're going to do to mitigate the effects, though, is we're going to throttle down all the way, throttle down to 0, and then activate it. Now it's all activated and ready to go in the orbit map. So let's go back to our orbit map. Alright, we're 32 seconds away now, getting ready to be 20. Keep your ship marker on the maneuver node, right? Ready to go to burn. And then now we're at about 20 seconds, so let's max throttle. Right, and it tells you how long here you have to wait until your burn is complete. So we have 1,300 meters per second to go. I'm actually going to tilt up a little bit here. Point your vehicle up a little bit above the maneuver node just to prevent yourself from going back down, descending, right? And then that'll just slowly drain, right? And when this reaches 0, you've completed your maneuver node. Don't worry about leaving ship control mode with the SAS on. The SAS will keep your vehicle on course for you, so you can move your cursor around wherever you want to while your SAS keeps your vehicle on course. So I'm just demonstrating here. As you can see, this will drain. Once it's drained to 0, your maneuver is complete. However, you might need to make slight adjustments when going to distant planets, because I found that it's a little bit inaccurate. Now I'm going to leave the orbital map, check on my fuel. So it looks like we still have about half of our fuel left, actually. We might actually make it to orbit without having to switch to our third stage. That'd be good. It is raining. Oh no. I do not want that rain to get on my PlayStation. Alright, so I'm going to actually get control of the vehicle again and decrease the throttle. As you can see, our maneuver node's only about 52 meters per second off. Don't worry about that. You can be slightly off with this, because... what the hell? Okay, there we go. You can be slightly off with this because it doesn't have to be perfect. And we are in orbit, 82 kilometers by 148 kilometers, and we're good to go. So now our ship will not fall back down to the planet. We'll keep going around the planet. So if you see, we can time warp here. Come on, time warp. There we go. So we're at a 50 times time warp right now. Time's running at 50 times normal speed. Time warp is used during longer missions so you're not waiting like 3 years to get to a maneuver node, because everything again is in real time on this. So you have to kind of have time warp in, otherwise it'll take forever. And just look at that, eh? Look at the view from up here is worth it once you get here. We're 96 kilometers from the surface, and as you can see, it's just really awesome looking. Yes, really, really neat. We could probably get a more perfect orbit than that, but this will do for now, for your first. We're gonna actually bring her back now. So before the 15 minutes ends, I imagine the 15 minutes is already almost up. I might end the episode off here. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm gonna end it off here, and when I get back in the third part, we'll bring her back. So I'll see you guys in the third part.